Hello, and welcome to Knit Cheek. My name is Natalie, and I'm the cheek behind Knit Cheek, and I just got a new microphone, and now I'm staring at the microphone for some reason instead of the camera. That's going to take some getting used to. But yeah, I got a new microphone, so hopefully it sounds better than it did before. I don't know. I don't know much about this kind of stuff, but every single video takes me 2 or 3 times to film an intro. Welcome to Knit Cheek. My name is Natalie, and I'm the cheek behind Knit Cheek, and you are watching Knit Cheek. I'm really great at intros. Welcome to my house. These are my plants, and you'll probably see my cats eventually, if you're lucky. We'll see. I am here today to talk about how I store my circular fixed knitting needles. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So there are fixed and then interchangeable needles. This is a fixed needle where you can't change the needles, and it's always connected to the same cord. So you buy these individually from wherever you buy your needles from. And they're hard to store. I don't know how to store them, or I didn't know how to store them. There's a lot of options out there, and so in this video I was going to talk about a couple of them and the unique route that I chose to store mine. I'm hoping that this will be one of a series of videos where I plan to not renovate, but reimagine my current craft room. We live in a 3-bedroom house. I have our bedroom, a guest room, and an office. And about last year, I decided to turn the office into my knitting space just because there's chairs in there. There's been multiple sets of furniture in there that we've gone through. And instead of just keeping all my knitting stuff in the guest bedroom with my sewing stuff, it just wasn't working, and I hang out in the office all the time, so it was nice to have all of my stuff there. But it's not perfect, and there are some things I want to do, and so I'm hoping to start like a mini series of things I do to make my perfect craft room. And I have been trying to figure out how to store my fixed circular needles in an aesthetic way, but also in a way that's practical. I originally bought this Della case. Hi, Peaches. This case from Della, and this is what they sell it for, is to hold fixed circular needles. And I have been using it for all my fixed circular needles until recently, because it's what I had. So this is what I've been using to store my fixed circular needles, but I wasn't happy with this solution because every time I needed one, I would have to dig in there and pull each one out to check the size, because there's no way of knowing. I think this would be really nice for DPNs, but for circular needles, unless you could figure out a way to label it, which, I mean, you could maybe like stick labels in there, but that's actually a good idea if I wanted to keep using this. But I wanted something, I wanted a binder that you can flip through and store your needles in, like something clear where you can see them. So I was inspired by this idea because I was just looking on Amazon for knitting needles solutions. And you want to say hi? Come here. Oh, goodness. Say hi. I got a new microphone, so you gotta meow at the microphone. Yeah. She always sounds angry, but she's not angry. She just sounds like that. She's really whiny. Yeah. Like, she's happy. But I don't know. Where was I? I was talking about my fixed circular needles. Yes, that's the whole point of the video. So I was on Amazon looking for a solution, and let me rewind. Actually, I was inspired by the Purl Soho fixed knitting. Let me look up exactly what it's called, but it's the fixed circular needle box is what it's called. And it's similar to the solution that I came up with, except for it's a little bit pricey, and it's beautiful, but I feel like to take in and out of like a bookshelf would be difficult. It would kind of have to lay flat instead of being pulled out of a bookshelf like a book. My craft room has bookshelves in it, and that's where I keep all my knitting notions and tools. So I was kind of looking for something that would fit on that bookshelf. It's called the Purl Soho circular needle case, and it's a box that has a lid on top, and it's got a 3-ring binder with inserts that you can put your needles into, and then labels that you can stick on there. It comes with a 100% linen cover, and it comes with 20 sleeves to put your knitting needles into. So this is a great solution if you just want to buy something easy, and if you have the budget for it, this would work great. But I kind of was looking for something more around $20 to $25 budget, and so that's where I came up with this idea. And this idea again was kind of inspired by this, and I started looking for something that would be cheaper on Amazon, and they do have it. So I would find these 3-ring binders with the clear sleeves on them on Amazon, but they had pretty bad reviews because the binders were too small. You would put all your knitting needles in there, and it would get too thick, and it just wasn't. Whoever came up with this idea wasn't actually testing the functionality of it. It was just, and you can even tell on the pictures on Amazon that they post this binder in that I don't know, it's just hilarious. Like the proportions are off, and it'll be like next to like crochet. But yeah, so you know what? I'm just going to show you. So this is my solution. It is a binder that I found on Amazon for, I want to say it was $12.99, but let me double check. It is a small mini binder. I want to say that's a 5 or a 6. I'll link it in the description. And it's got a really big ring. Sorry, I'm looking at the viewfinder and everything's mirror image, and I just can never get it right. It's got a really big ring, and I bought these separate. So this is like a plasticky envelope thing. So you can see I only bought one set of, I believe there's 12 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But you could easily fit probably another pack, maybe 3 packs. I don't know if you filled them, if you would be able to fit that many. But I only bought a 12 pack because I actually don't own that many circular knitted needles, which is funny that I was looking for a solution. But I have enough that I was like, I don't know what to do with these. And I had originally put them in a jar, and it wasn't working. So that's why I bought the Della Q case, and then I was searching for something that would be easier. This is going to be great because you can open it up, you can flip through it, you can find the label that you need, and I really like it. Now, it's not perfect because when I was looking for the plastic sleeves, these are A5 plastic sleeves, so that means this binder must be bigger. But when you close it, if you pull them like that, like it stays in, right? I had originally bought larger ones, these, and when you put them in and pulled it like that, they would stick out. So these fit the binder with the 3 holes. These, I had to actually punch the middle hole. So if you're like, yeah, that's not something that I want to do, and you don't care if the sleeves kind of stick out, like the zipper part stuck out, then maybe you just want to buy the bigger sleeves. But for me, I wanted something that would be kind of flush and that you wouldn't see from the outside, and I'm really happy with it. I think it turned out really cool. So this mini binder was $16.99, and then the inserts for one set of insert was $7.99. So $16.99 plus $7.99, that's 17 plus 8 is 25. So this solution cost me $25, which was just at the top of what I wanted to spend for a knitting needle case. It would cost me another $8 if I wanted to put more knitting needles in here, but would still be less than half of what the original box, Purl Soho circular needle box was. So I think I did pretty good in finding a solution. It definitely matches the aesthetic of my office and all the other things that I like. I like a lot of leather. This is obviously fake leather, but I like browns and leathers and things like that. So there are some alternatives that you can try to store your circular knitting needles if you didn't like the binder idea or the box idea. There are some things that you can find, like a wall hanging. They sell on Etsy, where you can kind of slide your circular knitting needles. This is what they actually have at the yarn store in my local town. And they have it on the wall, and you can kind of like go by the number and look at it and then pull the needles out that you want, which I think is really cool. But like, since my house is not a yarn store, I don't really have, my house is old, so there's like a lot of windows and a lot of doors, so I don't have a lot of wall space that we're not already using to hang something like that. And I also just don't think it would be like aesthetically pleasing to other people who are not into knitting to come in and see this weird wall hanging with a bunch of needles hanging out of it. So I didn't think that was right for me. There is another really great option if you're somebody who has a lot of circular knitting needles, and that is the photo storage box. There are 2 YouTube videos that I found going into detail about that, and that was Birch and Lily Knits, and also Rachel is Knitting. Both posted really in-depth videos showing their photo box storage for circular knitting needles. I think this would be a great option. If over time I collect that many circular knitting needles, I think that it would be a great way to store them. Not necessarily on the bookshelf that I was thinking, but maybe somewhere else where I could just keep a box of them, like in the closet or something like that. But for what I was looking for, the binder just seemed like a really easy access. Also, like, you can grab it and grab whatever needles out of it really easily. I'll also share the blog post of Billy and Bath, where the original idea of the photo box storage for your circular knitting needles came from. She's also got a couple of PDF downloads that you can, like a needle inventory and like a library kind of needle checkout list. So like, if you take a needle out, you would leave a slip that says where that needle is, like what project bag or what project you're working on it with, which I thought was a really cool idea for someone who has a lot. I don't think that I have that many to do something like that, but it's still a smart idea to do if you've got a lot of. That's not necessarily true, because I only have like 3 projects on the go normally, but I do have a project in hibernation, and I recently pulled out the needles from that and totally forgot that they were in there. So, if you had a really organized photo box or binder, and then you went to the US size 2 and it was empty, it would have a slip in there and it would tell you where those needles were. And if you were like, I have no idea where those needles are, it would be like, it's in that bag that you have hibernating in the guest room closet. So that's kind of the whole video. That's why I said it was going to be quick. I had this idea, and I executed the idea by ordering this stuff, and I was kind of surprised that I figured out how to make it work. And I don't know, I didn't have high hopes for finding a solution that wasn't going to cost me an arm and a leg. So if you have any alternative ideas for storing your circular knitting needles, or if you just want to share how you're storing your circular needles, share down below in the comment section so that I can read them and others can read them too. Thank you for watching this video on my binder solution for storing my circular knitting needles, and subscribe if you want to see more upcoming videos about how I am going to make the perfect craft room. If this is your first time tuning into my videos, you can check out more videos in the playlist that I will link down below. If you want to be friends, you can follow me on Instagram. I am KnitCheek. Until next time, bye!